Settlements in September. Wouldn't that be something, guys, right? There are rumors and speculation circulating around Twitter right now, as of right now, that there may perhaps be settlement and the case finally concludes this month, guys, right? The ongoing case with Ripple versus the SEC. Now, we have a lot to talk about, especially with the case, guys, and how this may all tie in together. First things first, Ripple just tweeted out, who's ready for the quote-unquote proper party? Registration is now open for the Ripple-hosted community celebration on September 29th in New York City. Reserve your spot here. So basically, you have to register, and it seems as everyone is going, guys, right? Supposedly, who's going to New York? As you guys can see, Attorney Jeremy, perhaps, right? Or seems like it. Are you guys going is the real question, right? The proper party. There you guys go. Now here are some frequently asked questions, guys, right? As you guys can see, and I'm pretty sure you have to register as well, right here, guys. There you go. I probably will not go, guys, but if you go down here, celebrating when the majority is down under XRP investments, I would do a party once the symmetrical triangle breaks out. That's when the real party begins or starts, right? Exactly. So that's the thing, guys. Why are they throwing a party when XRP is down, right? Maybe we may even see a further dump occur this month, and as well as the case has 100% not concluded as well, guys, right? So this is where the rumor starts to set in, guys, that there honestly may be settlement and the judge will block out an appeal, right? Will not approve it or agree for the SEC to go with an appeal. But from Bojack, what's really odd and strange is the proper party brought to you by Ripple. Location is, that's where it's located, guys, 311. Right? Can't make this stuff up, guys. 311 would connect to Mr. Poole and the Riddler connections. Very fascinating, isn't it? And here we go. This is where it all begins, guys, and maybe it ends this month. Who knows? If it does, imagine if there's settlement and we see a proper party, by the way, by the end of this month, that would be something, right? It would be just a coincidence. Just in, with Ripple, the company behind cryptocurrency XRP, says courts should deny SEC's request for an appeal. Right, there you guys go. So it seems as Ripple files opposition to the SEC's motion to certify interlocutory appeal. As you guys can see, if you check out the PDF right here, document 913. Interesting, isn't that? The court should deny the SEC's motion for certification. The court should also deny the SEC's request for a stay pending appeal for the reasons identified in the individual defendants' separately filed opposition. Right, there you guys go. So the thing is, what will the judge do now? Right, 19, the Phoenix number, 24 pages. Again, 913, weird numbers if you ask me, guys. But here comes through Alderodi, Chief Legal Officer at Ripple. Ripple just filed its opposition to the SEC's request for an interlocutory appeal. Worth a read, in my opinion, especially the footnotes. Footnote 5 is one of my personal favorites. So if you go all the way down here, what is footnote 5? Some pointed out, the SEC states it, quote, does not seek appellate review for any holding relating to the fact that the underlying assets here are nothing but computer code with no inherent value, end quote. The court made no such ruling. To the contrary, undisputed evidence established XRP's inherent utility as a bridge currency to facilitate cross-border transactions, right? Again, they always point out that it's a bridge, right? XRP bridges different central bankers, right? Different flows of avenues, different roads and paths. Basically moves around value like never before. Again, when that truly goes live, guys, right, this decade, that's when XRP literally explodes. Now, but for that to happen, we first need to see the collapse occur. Instead, the court found that an XRP token is not in itself an investment contract because it does not in itself meet Howey's requirements. There you guys go, right? Things are looking really good for Ripple and XRP, guys, right? I'm guessing that the SEC, they are pissed at this point, right? Maybe not. Think about it. Maybe they were delaying it for a specific reason. Now, can the SEC just admit that they were wrong about XRP and Ripple and work towards healthy regulation that will allow the industry to flourish and allow the underdogs the same privileges the wealthy gets, right? Exactly. As expected from Johnny Deaton, Ripple demonstrates that an interlocutory appeal here is simply not warranted. The SEC has always maintained Howey is a fact-specific inquiry, and for an interlocutory appeal to be warranted, the Second Circuit should not have to review the extensive factual record. Footnote 2 destroys the SEC's argument on this matter, guys. Right. So it's pretty crazy, guys. So what will the SEC do? The SEC simply doesn't know what they are doing anymore. Exactly, right? I think they're just making things up out of thin air, guys. The only thing I could think of is it's a delay mechanism and to confuse who? You, right? They just want to confuse the people. Now, can the SEC just admit that they're wrong though? No, they can't. Jay Clayton today said they wouldn't allow a spot ETF because he wasn't convinced it couldn't be manipulated. But now that BlackRock and other trusted institutions are involved, it's okay for retail to have exposure now. He literally admitted that's how it works, guys, right? So the SEC is obviously corrupted. Why can't we investigate the SEC? But they can investigate we the people. But the SEC's latest shift of litigation positions to further its desired goals, like its earlier ones, show no allegiance to the law, end quote. Ripple's opposition to the SEC's requests for an early appeal, Judge Torres will not grant this interlocutory appeal. There you guys go. So what will the judge do? It's all in the, I guess the ball is in the judge's courts, right? Again, we have been hearing possible settlement talks. Look at this, guys. Independently, the court should also deny the SEC's request for a stay, right? The SEC has not even attempted to meet the standard for a stay, even after the individual defendants identified that omission in their pre-motion letter. The individual defendants write separately to oppose SEC's request. Ripple joins that opposition. Now, the court did not rule in the SEC's favor on all issues. In response, the agency is now rushing to appeal what it claims is a purely legal question, applicable to every digital asset case, but the SEC's latest shift of litigation positions to further its desired goals, like its earlier ones, show no allegiance to the law, right? If I were in the SEC's boots, guys, I'll be shaking right now, most definitely. From Attorney Jeremy, Ripple starts off vicious with the Younger's case. The case says that the issue to be appealed must be one of pure law, and the SEC has an issue that's part of Bloodhound. It's a high hurdle to jump over for the SEC, right? So things aren't looking good for the SEC at all. Now, this where things get spicy and interesting and juicy, because from Ashley, whilst Ripple and the SEC continue their public battle, let's not forget that they have the option of scheduling 3 mutually convenient settlement conferences. So there is still the possibility that one day, maybe soon, they come to an agreement. The parties are directed to contact a courtroom deputy Rachel Slusher at over there with 3 mutually convenient dates to schedule a settlement conference if they believe it will be productive at this time. You can't make this stuff up, right? So there's most definitely still a chance that a settlement will occur. Possible if the SEC loses another big motion, then they have no other option. A denial from Judge Torres may be the catalyst that's needed. Exactly right. Deny them and get the show on the road. Settle this damn case, because from Bob Cook's willing to bet all of this is resolved by September 29th. Just a gut feeling. You know the rules. Time reveals all. Again, guys, right? So this is where rumors and circulations or rumors and speculation comes into play, that the reason why Ripple's having a party, the proper party, by the way, right? It's the proper party. How can you have a proper party when the case is still ongoing? You can't. So it needs to conclude, guys, right? So is this the game plan? Did we just crack the code? Perhaps, guys. Last but not least, from Riz XRP, one of the smartest people in the space, Web3. So they talk about the Ripple case right here, guys. Check this out. Again, it was a monumental win, guys, right? Things are looking really good, to say the least, at the end of the day. Not on HFIs. Wow.
I want to ask you a question. Do you think that the Grayscale ETF decision was bigger than the Ripple SEC decision? When I said the ETF decision versus the tokens potentially not being securities, which one in your mind was more important for the future of crypto?
Probably the Ripple.
I agree, because we had a Spaces yesterday.
Again, we told you guys the Ripple test, right? Ripple first in the gate of clarity, first out of, or XRP that is. The standard of everything seems as, right?
Where we spoke about this, and people were saying, no, the ETF decision is big. I said, no, the ETF decision just means more money coming into the asset. The other one is a pivotal moment because it actually changes whether these things are securities or not securities, and that changes the entire future of how people build with these things, use these things.
Well, because an ETF Bitcoin, as you say, this is just flow of money, right? What the XRP Ripple case is all about is really about the future of Web3.
Agree.
Which is a much bigger concept than just cryptocurrencies. It's about the
There you guys go, and people still hate Ripple and XRP, guys. You can't make that stuff up, right? Ripple is literally paving the way, the path for every other damn project out there, right? Respect Ripple and XRP.
integration of blockchain technology into everything that we do in a whole bunch of different business models. And that's not clear yet, where that's going to come out, but it's coming out in favor of Web3 being the future and not everything is a bloody security, which is ludicrous.
One thing I've noticed is when things are going to the courts, Web3 is winning. So Ripple, it went to the court, Web3 won. There was another monumental ruling this year. I actually may have it here. It is the Uniswap ruling. Now, a lot of people just, they browse this and say, oh, it's a case, it's a fickle case against Uniswap, but it's actually not, because in this ruling, the judge actually acknowledged that DeFi is a decentralized protocol and you can't hold the developers liable for how people use the protocol. And they also acknowledged that DeFi is just a piece of code, which is, that is a massive ruling. The third big ruling we had was Grayscale versus the SEC, where Grayscale said, look, where the judge said, hold on a second, you can't treat the futures ETF different from the spot ETF, because essentially they both rely on the price of the spot asset. So I think that when things are going to the courts, we're getting some fantastic outcomes, and Web3 is actually winning.
Just what I think the SEC misunderstood here was how smart this space is. It is the smartest collection of people I've ever come across, because they are technologists, they're finance people, they're artists, they are this conglomeration of people with skill sets I have never seen in any industry before. Sure, there's smart people in AI, but they're kind of less commercial than this group of people, right? So you're going up against some of the smartest people in the world who are mission driven and who have thought about decentralized protocols. That's why it was invented, because the idea is we know that this is an answer that the courts can't deal with because it is code.
Again, guys, at the end of the day, in conclusion, we will be on the right side of law and history from Brad Garlinghouse. Not financial advice at the end of the day, but it was also for you guys amazingness. See ya. A crazy month, to say the least.